How's it going, y'all? Josh here from Vanilla Moose Coffee, and in today's video I'm going to show you a few tips on what you should bring for an emergency in your food trailer, food truck, or coffee trailer, anything like that. I've made a lot of mistakes over the past year and a half, but I've never made the same mistake twice. So hopefully these tips will help you from making these mistakes and will save you in a bind, because I've sure had my share of binds. So the first thing, and the reason I'm making this video, is because I had this issue yesterday. So we blew a fuse yesterday on the way to a setup, and we ended up having to leave because we couldn't even set up. And I didn't even really know what a fuse was before this, but I've learned that my breaker box, it's got 10 amp and 40 amp fuses. So I found this kit on Amazon. It is just an assortment kit of fuses. This was literally $6. It's the first tip because it'll save you in a bind. Always have a fuse kit on your trailer, so if you do blow a fuse, you can just quickly fix it, and you won't have to deal with the same situation I did yesterday. So that's number one. Let's move on to number two. Alrighty, so excuse the mess. It's a big maintenance day, which is also why I'm making this video. But the second one deals with the generator. I'm not filming next to the generator because it'll be too loud and you won't be able to hear me. But in the summer, you're probably going to have a lot of generator issues, and maybe a little bit in the winter too, but it's really prevalent in the summer. So always keep with you a little quart of oil, whatever your generator uses, and the tools to get into your generator to top off the oil. I've had some, like in the summer, for some reason it just plows through the oil way quicker. And so if I would have had oil at a setup, I could have just topped it off and been fine, but the generator kept shutting down, and I had to leave. And then in addition to that, this was actually another food truck friend of mine recommended this. It's a stable fuel stabilizer, if you can see this. This has lasted me all summer. It's like a $6 bottle. But what you do is you just put 1 or 1.5 ounces in the gas in your generator, and it helps clean it up, lube up all the gears, and just help your gas run more efficiently. So that is a huge help. Sometimes if you have generator problems, you can just put some of that in your gas, and it works just fine. So definitely recommend always keeping that on you. And let's move on to number 3. So I don't know how strict your health department is on the water testing, but you want to make sure you always keep a little bottle of water test strips. It's also good to test out your sanitizer. Just put a little strip in there to make sure you have enough. And if you have an inspection, sometimes they'll ask you for your own strips. So it's always good to keep, this is the Noble brand, super cheap, but I would always keep it in your arsenal just so you can make sure you're compliant with your sanitizer. Next, I feel like I'm doing a little show and tell, but this is 2 types of cleaners. There's like digestible ones. I have a toilet in the front of my trailer, so I put this in the toilet portion to clean that gray water, and then we have a separate gray water that our 3-basin sink goes into, and I would recommend getting this is a TST Max brand. It smells like oranges, so it smells really nice, especially in the summer again. If you haven't emptied your gray water in a while, it could start to smell, which is why I recommend replacing it pretty often and going to dump it pretty often. I do after every setup. But if you can't get it out there, get yourself some gray water treatment. It'll help it smell nice, and it'll get rid of most bacteria and buildup in your gray water tank. So it's not like a super fun thing, but it does help the longevity of all of your sink equipment. Alrighty, next, this is sometimes required for some health departments, and especially if you have staff working with you, a little first aid kit. I would get a little kit that mounts to your wall. I need to label mine saying that it's there, but it's usually just me working the trailer, so I know it's there. But like Band-Aids, bandages, if you work with knives, anything that can help, like a wound, clean up bloodborne pathogens. You should be certified in that if you own a food truck, and that kind of stuff. So that's one of the things you don't think about until you cut yourself and you're like, shoot, I need a first aid kit. So make sure you get one and mount it somewhere where it's easily accessible. Alright, next is you want to get yourself some extension cords. Oh, there goes my mic. Put it back up here. Some extension cords. This is good for, like yesterday when my generator went down and I couldn't figure out how to turn it back on with the breakers. My fridge was unplugged, and so I was able to get this extension cord, plug the fridge into it, and then plug it into an outlet on the property just while I sorted it out, so my food didn't go bad. So it was good that I had this in a pinch. This is just like a 110 amp extension cord, but you can certainly get like a, I also have a 220 50 amp extension cord. Some of the places I set up have like a 50 amp outlet, so I can just plug it straight into that outlet with that extension cord and not even have to use my generator. So those ones are about like $250, so it's not like you need one, but I definitely would recommend just like a cheap regular extension cord. Super helpful, and you wouldn't really think it would be. Next is both a summer and winter application. So sometimes if it's really hot, or if you're using a lot of equipment like my espresso machine, I actually can't use the AC in the ceiling because they kind of use up all the power and one dies, and I need the espresso machine more. So what I have is actually a box fan. Little show and tell. I got my box fan. Excellent in the summer. I just open the back door of my trailer and I couple that with like a bug net. So I set the bug net up on the door so no bugs get in, but it can still be open, letting a breeze in. So even with no AC, it's still pretty cool in here. And then on the flip side, in the winter, it's gonna get cold in here, and especially if you have a fridge plugged in overnight or your water system, you don't want your water system freezing. I had that happen last year and my faucet actually snapped from the cold. So I have myself a heater that I leave on overnight just to keep everything stabilized in the trailer. And then also when you're setting up and it's like 10 degrees outside, it's just good to have a heater. And then if it's warm in your trailer, you can set the heater up outside where the customers are. I've done that before. They love it. So little things like that go a long way. Okay, so this next thing is like a luxury item. I just upgraded to this. It is a Wi-Fi box. This one's the AT&T All Hub Fi. So it's one of those Wi-Fi boxes. I think this one's like $60 a month, but so worth it. So I can have Wi-Fi in my trailer. Make sure you get one that's not like a cable internet, because obviously you don't have hardwired cable in your trailer or truck. So this one I just plug in when I'm set up, and it gives me Wi-Fi just from like a satellite. I don't know how it works, but yeah, this one's called the AT&T All-Fi Hub, which it's worked great even in rural locations, and it's such a luxury to have Wi-Fi in this trailer. I wish I would have done this sooner. So that's awesome, being able to work my computer in here. So this next one's kind of a no-brainer, but you need like a little toolbox. I've just got this Cobalt one right here that I found at Home Depot for 20. Just get like a little toolbox that you can keep like a screwdriver, I don't know, whatever else you keep in a tool, or whatever else you keep in a toolbox. It's good to just have a good set of tools, especially like a screwdriver, extra nails, or extra screws. I mean, just whatever. Everyone's different, but depending on what they need. But yeah, just keep a good assortment so you can do whatever you need to do in a pinch. Honorable mentions would be like a little hand vacuum. I've got one right there behind the camera. Extra straps. I've had one break before that strapped down my generator, so I had an extra one to strap down my generator on the way home. Make sure you print off extra menus. Anything can happen, especially if you have a digital menu. Just a good backup. Let's see, and really, honestly, pen and paper. But anything that you use a lot that's super important on your day-to-day business, always have a backup. Whether that be backup cups, syrups, backup POS system, not like a backup with like Venmo. So like you can use Venmo if your credit card system goes down, have a little like print off with your Venmo information, but just stuff like that. So my battery's about to die, so that's it. This is my cue. I hope this video helped. I hope it'll save you from some emergencies that I've had to go through. And if you have anything that I didn't mention, please let me know so I can learn from y'all's mistakes and we can all grow together. So I hope you liked it, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.